Hello, my friends. My name is Jack Ducard, and welcome to Sentinel Circle. Thank you for being here today. We're going to cut right into the article real fast. Single women are happier than single men, according to science. Well, I can already tell you that a lot of thoughts are going through my mind on this one, but we'll go right into it. It says here, a new study says that heterosexual relationships lead to more rewards for men and more costs for women. Okay. Single women are happier than single men and aren't in a rush to partner up anytime soon. On average, women reported higher overall well-being, including higher relationship status satisfaction, higher life satisfaction, higher sexual satisfaction, as well as a lower desire for a partner. A study published in Social Psychological and Personality Science found. One common stereotype is that single women are unattractive and miserable spinsters, while single men are labeled as romantically desired bachelors, wrote University of Toronto psychologists Elaine Hone and Geoff MacDonald, who analyzed data from nearly 6,000 mostly heterosexual single people for their study. However, they wrote that their findings appear to run counter to existing stereotypes regarding women as the uniquely unhappy gender in singlehood. One possible reason for women being happier, the study says, is that women have stronger social support beyond romantic relationships. Of course, women are social creatures, whereas men tend to, either by choice or by circumstance, they tend to be more isolated. Which my hope for Sentinel Circle is we can break that. But this also goes to many other things, like there's no men's spaces anymore. You know, if there were more men's spaces out there where it was like purely men's spaces, I think more men would be more willing to go out there, socialize, all that stuff. But I digress. The study also suggests that as women become more financially independent, one traditional advantage for women in partnering with men, income is dissipating. Of course, this is what's going on here. Of course, the reason for the biggest reason for marriage, at least in my view, was it would bring women up. Obviously, women will not marry down in most cases. With more women going to college and they're occupying the managerial class, men are not going to college. They're not occupying those managerial classes. They're doing more blue collar work. The income disparity is going to be more significant. The status disparity is going to be more significant. You know, therefore, the marriage obviously is just not going to happen. Like, this article here already is just like, it's just not looking at the correct issues here. And this is the problem with articles like this, is they always pick like one microcosm of what's going on in society, and they're only focusing on that one little aspect. But that one little aspect is just a symptom to a larger problem. In this case, men are being shunned from many of these spaces that bring them up, because we've shown time and time again that these issues, like for example, college is a scam. We've shown it time and time again that college is a scam. College is not a way for a man to bring himself up unless he's going to a very specific profession. Okay? Because women, when they go through the college, they will get the positions that men don't for whatever reason. DEI, they socialize more. Women are just not wanting to hire in the workspace. Whatever the heck you want to say. There's multiple reasons for it. That leaves women to consider the other factors that may impact satisfaction within a relationship, which the study notes are inequalities within heterosexual relationships, including inequitable division of household labor and the deprioritization of women's sexual pleasure. again, that's a very loaded statement there. In the past, I don't know how far back you want to go. Men and women did not copulate until they were married, right? And of course, when you don't know what's better, you'll stick to what you're getting, okay? But now that the study that there was a study out there that more men are celibate either by choice or by someone else's choice, really is what it is, than women, because it's easier for a woman. Let's be honest here. It's easier for a woman to go out there, put themselves out there, and find a partner for that night or whatever. Whereas men have to really work hard at it. And even then, it's not a guarantee. This has been proven, again, time and time and time again, right? So when you've been to the buffet multiple times, you know what you're looking for. You know what you want. And then when you go find a partner, that cannot give you what you're looking for, you tend to be more dissatisfied. I can't begin to tell you story after story after story where the woman in a marriage, and I'm talking about marriages specifically, they go out there, they party, they do all that, and then they settle down, right? And they have all of these experiences, whatever the heck you want to call it. Whereas the man, at least in the couple that I'm thinking about, the man was religious, extremely religious. The woman had a crazy teens and 20s, and then was like, okay, I need to settle down, find God, find Jesus, whatever. And this is, I hear this story over and over and over again, and it makes me cynical every single time I hear it. Because the man's doing the right thing, and of course, there's a disparity. The man will probably that woman's the only person he's ever been with, whereas she's been with 20, 30, God knows how many other men. And then of course we were talking about other issues. We've seen issues with children, with rising rates in autism and all sorts of stuff. We have no idea. We can't even comprehend what has happened to us yet. And it's going to get worse as time goes on. Sorry. It's just this article is... these historically lead to more rewards for men and more costs for women in committed heterosexual partnerships. The study found that men are unhappier when they are single, which the researchers note may be an accurate recognition that they have more to gain from partnering than do single women. That has nothing to do with it, my friend. The writer's ignorant. The study notes that while not all single men are incels, the term for involuntary celibate. I'm sorry. Let's try that again. I'm going to slow down. The study notes that while not all single men are incels, the term for involuntary celibates, which the study describes as a misogynistic extremist group who blame women for their failed romantic and sexual pursuits. They report lower well-being generally, and further research is warranted. That was a mouthful. Thank you for getting me through that. Incel researchers could extend their work to include the experiences of single men more broadly, as a story of unhappy single men appears to reach well beyond incels. The researchers note. But overall, the study concludes that these findings suggest that women are, on average, happier in singlehood than men. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to first go take a break, come back, read your comments, then I will give final thoughts. So please hang out here. I appreciate you sticking with me. Thank you. Hello, my friends. Jack Descartes here once again. Thank you for watching this video. We appreciate it. I just would like to take a few moments of your time. Right now, we are currently raising money to host a website. We have Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, as well as a Patreon in case you'd like to donate once or you'd like to give a continued donation. The donation on the Patreon is only $3 a month. Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal, you can donate however much you want. There is no obligation. I will continue to try to provide as much content for free as possible. Once the website is up, we will use that as a hub for all Sentinel Circle related activities, including local meetups, as well as online meetups, online discussions, and videos. So again, if you could go and donate to either Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, or Patreon, all the links are in the description. We appreciate everything you have done for us. And if you can't donate, we still ask that you like, subscribe, and share. All these activities do help even in the most insignificant ways. If you do donate, you will be immortalized in our videos and the website. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Now back to our scheduled program. Thank you for coming back. We appreciate it. We're going to go into your comments now. First comment is from A Ton of Spiders. Ooh, scary guy. I'm so sick of leaf blowers. I swear it's the most useless job. Now, okay, I do agree. I don't like leaf blowers, but any job where, in this case, using a leaf blower, and the people using a leaf blower it's a tool. It's not like that's solely what they're doing. It's just a leaf blower. But it would be nice if they would just like not do that. But again, A Ton of Spiders. Thank you very much for the comment. We appreciate it. Next comment. Baron Davis is cool. He says, but lack of accountability is also a very modern issue. There is a reason they say that the West has been feminized, and it shows in the lack of accountability that is rife. At the end of the day, we live in a time where it's never been easier to learn a skill if you want to. Someone make that make sense. Now, he makes a very good point here. You can go online. You can find a tutorial video. You can find a manual. You can find all these different things to learn a skill. He's right. It's never been easier. The problem that, at least that I see, in this situation is, how do I want to put this? I think that what it boils down to is, people don't know how to learn. And I didn't realize this until I was in college, but the whole point of school is to learn how to learn, which, again, if you don't know how to, or you don't have the desire to learn to begin with, there's nothing you can do. In order to learn, you have to have the drive and determination to fail. And even failing is kind of an acquired skill, right? A lot of people don't want to fail. And I don't want to say it's a fear of failing per se, but there is kind of this apprehension to it. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people are afraid to go out of their bubble. Like, as a kid, you learn to walk, okay, and you fail over and over and over again, but your brain doesn't really comprehend that kind of stuff. It's the same thing with, like, I don't know, toilet training, certain things like that. Certain things that we have to learn in order to exist in a civilized society. But that being stated, there's certain things that we don't really, and I could go on and on and on about this, but the whole point of mentorship is not only to teach you, but it's to give you encouragement when you fail. It's to turn a negative into a positive, as I've been told in the past. Where, example, let's say you're doing a task, you fail. If you don't know how to do the task successfully, and you do it over and over and over again, you'll develop the muscle memory in that way, and it's harder to break. Whereas if you have a mentor who's done it to a skill that is so in-depth, precise, all that stuff, and he's teaching you, he can say, look, you're doing this wrong, watch me. He can guide you, he can coach you. That's why, athletes, they have coaches. Even star athletes, they have coaches, right? That's the kind of I gotta be honest with you, I don't understand why it's okay in sports, but it's not okay anywhere else. I shouldn't say it's not okay. It's more just it doesn't happen anywhere else. But this was a very good comment, and maybe we should do another video on mentorship and all that stuff down the road. But like I said, we'll talk about it some other time. This is starting to go on a little too long. Next comment from C Church. A couple years ago at David Hoffman, filmmaker, he posted an interview with a stoic, very wise, stoic, old-timey man from decades ago. The comments are filled with guys lamenting how this is how M should be. My comment was then, why are you not being that? Instead, you get whole house 24/7 Wi-Fi, passed out devices like Oprah Winfrey, make big purchases to satiate your own childhood, then go hole up in your man cave. Then when it's too late, you finally get the old dad bug and want to drag your uninterested, resentful teen into the garage with you. And you can't figure out why they describe this as unfair torture. So the one thing that this is a very confusing comment out of context, but the reason why I pulled this was the same reason I pulled the last comment, which was they were both about it was under the video about the lack of mentorship today. The one thing I've heard men who have children tell me is that they don't really take an interest in their child until when they're older and they have personality. And I don't understand why that is. I guess what it is it's the whole, child rearing is kind of like a woman's job, which it isn't. Child rearing is both a man and a woman's job. So when you start getting a personality is kind of when you're in your teen years anyways. You kind of get a little bit of personality younger, but it's specifically in your teens is when you really start developing your personality. And at that point, you kind of want to get away from it all, right? And so you get a whole house, 24/7 Wi-Fi, pass out devices, and make then go hole up in your man cave. Get the old dad bug anyway. So the context is this person's a woman from one of the other comments I read. And again, we're catering to men here, but we appreciate the women being here. Please don't hesitate to reach out again, C Church. But as fathers, I don't know why people like men don't take on that role, but being a father is in a way being a mentor. And a lot of men they want nothing to do with their children until like, even my father was kind of like that. He didn't want anything to do with me as a child. But now that I'm in my 30s, he's constantly calling me. He's constantly reaching out to me. And I find it funny because, one of my brothers lives at home and he's in his 30s as well. But I don't judge my brother. There's some problems there. We'll leave that for a future conversation. But my brother, my younger brother in this case, he's a bit of a he's not nice to my father. Let's put it that way. So my father's just constantly reaching out to me. He sees me as the more successful of that batch of children. And because I worked incredibly hard, went to school, all that stuff. The things that he wanted to do, I did. And because of that, I feel that it's kind of like, where were you when I needed you the most? Why are you reaching out to me now that, I'm waiting for the moment where he starts asking me for money, which he still hasn't done that, thank God, but I'm getting to that point. But like, I feel the exact same way, Sea Church. It's like these men have these children. They don't have any interest. And then when they hit this certain age, when it matters more to them, that's when they reach out and it's already too late. And I'm very sorry that your father did that to you. I would hope that you understand kind of where he's coming from. I would hope that your father's an open-minded individual where he can understand where you're coming from, but something tells me that's not the case. Anyways, it's a good comment. And men who have children, please, at any age, show interest in your children. It matters. Okay? Next comment. Homefront. It's always good to hear from Homefront. If I'm the father figure and Rusty is the fun uncle, that makes us brothers. I can only imagine what trouble we could have gotten into growing up. Love you, Jack, and of course, Rusty and Raymond too. This comment was posted under a post that I made on the channels, thanking the three of them. Homefront, Rusty, and Raymond's thoughts and minds, in my view, have been very instrumental in the initial success of the channel. That's not to say that they're not involved now. I know Raymond's always involved in his channel. It's currently at 18,000 subscribers. It's a big deal. And he's going through some issues right now. I really wish the best for Raymond. It saddens me that he's going through what he's going through right now, but I can't do any more than pray for him every single day. So again, I think those three channels. Thank you again, Homefront, for making this comment. Thank you very much. Next comment was from Rick Vanman3238. As someone who works in a hardware store, I'm so grateful to the 5% of customers who teach me stuff about electronics and color palettes. They make me want to listen more to my older generation and fellow humans. The other 80% is just people who complain I don't know any construction or info on bathroom construction or piping. And again, this is kind of the whole point about mentorship is when you mentor someone, it does have an impact on that person. And it speaks volumes, not just about you as an individual, but for your generation as well. And the one thing I will say is I am very sympathetic to this comment here, this commenter, I should say. I've been in the same situation where, I need help, and the person who's supposed to be helping me is just chewing my rear end and chastising me and essentially calling me a moron without calling me a moron. It's aggravating. It's heartbreaking because you really want to do that person proud, but there's a point where it's just obvious where there's nothing you can do. Like, it's obvious they don't like you. Then why am I here? And I think it just, what it boils down to is it's stereotypes designed to again divide and conquer us. I noticed a lot. In fact, I recently had this issue yesterday at a job site where there's a new Golden Arches being built near me, and the Golden Arches has some equipment in there that my company deals with. My start time, and I'm going to talk about this in a future video because it really upset me badly. My start time, my designated scheduled start time was 9 o'clock a.m. I was there at 8:45 waiting on the truck. At 9 o'clock, I walked inside just to see if the truck was in there. They were there, but I still didn't have to walk in until 9. Even if I knew they were there, 9 o'clock. That's the designated start time. That's what the company that signs my checks tells me I got to do, is be there at 9. This old guy, and he must have been the supervisor, the construction supervisor, whatever. He's like, they've been looking for you for a couple hours. And I was like, well, yes, my appointment time was 9 o'clock. And he looks at me, he goes, and you guys are something else. And then he walks away. And the guy's old. He's got his Vietnam veteran hat on and stuff. And I'm just like, okay, all right, I see where this is going, you know. And I just, I'm still getting upset about it, you know. But we'll talk about that in the future video because I'm going to come in hot on that one. Anyways, let's go ahead. We're going to go to final thoughts here. So this article was rather short, I know, but the issue that I have with this article is it just touches on, oh, single women are happier. That's great. That's amazing, right? What they don't show is what is going on around that is making women happier. Like, they talked about income. They barely touched it, like so microscopically touched what's going on. And the truth is more women are graduating from college. Because of that, they do have significant amounts of debt, whereas the men don't because they're going into trade schools now. And women tend to hire women because even in my company, many of the women are in managerial roles, whereas the men are out in the field in those positions. And I'm seeing that time and time and time again where women are the managers of a job now, and the men are occupying the lower roles. And I don't mean to say lower roles in a derogatory sense, but that's the honest to God truth. They are in the labor, physical labor aspect of the jobs. And I think what's happening is we're seeing this segregation. You know, there was this giant push to involve women in all areas of men, right? And we are now seeing this resegregation. I don't mean to hit my mic. I'm sorry. This resegregation between men and women, with women taking the upper echelons and the men working the again, like I said, the lower work. Like, again, I see it time and time again. Women are in HR, women are in accounting, which those have always been traditionally women anyways. Women are just, if there's an office, it's usually women. In fact, we saw the Gen Z boss in a mini video, right? All those people in those videos were women, right? And because of that, again, women will not date lower. It's not just money-wise, it's also position-wise. Women who have degrees will not date men who do not have degrees. They will not marry men who do not have degrees, right? They'll be happy to date a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, but they won't go down. And I think that that's really where this is going. Like if student loans were taken care of tomorrow, that would be the end of it. You know, women would not have any reason to trap a man. You know, because that's the biggest reason is they rack up all this debt and then they go get their hooks in some guy and then he's stuck paying her debts. Again, I've seen that story time and time again. The point that I'm seeing in this article is women have been propped up at men's expense, and I am getting sick and tired of it. And I know a lot of people on YouTube and Rumble and out there are getting sick and tired of it. So this is probably one of the bigger reasons for things like MGTOW, red pill, whatever the heck you want to say, because we see it time and time again. You don't have to see it too many times to realize that there's a pattern. And the moment there's a pattern, you know, it can go anywhere. So no, my friends, I'm not gonna sit there and champion this. There's no reason to champion this. You know, find your own happiness. But you don't need a relationship. You don't need this filth for happiness. Let's put it that way. This filth, this headache, this migraine that we're looking at right now. Okay? Anyways, again, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification for future uploads. And again, we're doing donations for the website. We're trying to get hosting, so I've included the Patreon. I've also included single upload or single donation links, so that way you can donate for the website. If you donate, you will be included on the website as well as on the video in the future as a giant thank you. And down the road, when more things are coming online and stuff, you'll be thanked in those ways as well. Thank you very much again. Everyone here who watches my videos, everyone who takes the time out of their day, is contributing to something greater than themselves. Just because I'm here talking doesn't mean that you guys are less important than me. You guys are just as important, if not more important than I am. And I want you all to know that. So have a good day.